What's good, man? Welcome to the Holy City Hall podcast. You joining Nappy Nick along with Jacoby, Ryan, and Matt. What's up, fellas? How we doing today?
Doing pretty well, man. I'm ready to make up for last week.
Oh yeah, y'all like new intro? I'm not and really give y'all a warning on that.
Yeah, no heads up on that count.
I mean, my main reason was I wasn't really sure what I was going to do, so I was like, "Fuck it, let's see what happens." We're learning on the fly here, man.
There you go.
Learn on the fly.
It's all about adaptability.
Well, guys, it's week 5, so you know what it is. Best bets, college football here on the Holy City High podcast. We're gonna try to have a better week than we had. It's probably our worst week so far of the podcast. All of us are below 500, except Ryan, and that's only because Ryan didn't make that one game selection. I think you were going to Oregon State, right?
Loophole. I would have gone with Oregon State.
Oregon State, so yeah, that probably was up 6 and 7.
Yeah, I've been 6 and 7.
It's all good, man. Y'all was so close to 6 and 9. You know, that's the magical number, obviously. But we're going to go over these results and also the scores of the games. So, with our results, you guys, we all took that major L loss with Georgia State and Coastal Carolina. Georgia State fucking just murked them boys.
Yeah,
They're 4-0, man. Sean Elliott.
Told you I wanted to take Georgia State. Told you that.
Yeah, dude. I was like, God, especially knowing that like the ODC from Coastal was at Georgia State now, and the quarterbacks from Conway. I was like, God, that just sounds like Georgia State's about to show up, and they did.
They did. They're having a good year. It's just I'm so used to Coastal running them through that division so easy. It's an automatic pick, it seems like.
Nah, man, that Sun Belts, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna be the best group of 5 by far.
It's probably the best group of 5. I still give the Mountain West the best group, but I think Sun Belt's on the up.
They on the up. We also took all losses to the Ole Miss Alabama game. I went with the over. You guys went Mississippi cover. We're gonna highlight that game down the road a little bit. Start with Ryan. His other wins were South Carolina covering -6. Oh, you skipped that one. A&M 7.5. Utah -5. Oregon -21. Ohio State Notre Dame under 55.5. And FSU winning by 2. Jake Kobe's has a win with TCU 6.5. West Virginia +6. Over 48.5 from the South Carolina Mississippi State game. Texas A&M to cover against Auburn. Utah, Oregon -5, -10 respectively. You go 6 and 7 for the week. My man Matt also had West Virginia as a win. South Carolina as a win. Texas A&M, Utah as wins. The under 40.5 with Penn State and Iowa, and Florida State to win -2. Then your boy, the NAFTA, probably the rough week of the bunch with only 5 wins. West Virginia and South Carolina. Washington State with a +135 outright win. Notre Dame +3 and FSU -2. Any thoughts on these past games, guys? Don't mention Florida State Clemson. We'll get to that game in a second. But any of the other 9?
Yeah, I mean, I think it seems like we're all surprised by the Ole Miss game. You know, it seemed like Alabama was more vulnerable. Ole Miss seemed like they were on the up, and I think they tricked us all.
No. I want to touch on the Notre Dame-Ohio State game. I think Notre Dame must have followed the Clemson game earlier and decided, we're going to do that. We're just going to go away from running the ball. So, but we'll get into that.
Jacob, any thoughts from you?
Only thing that really stood out overall, I think Bama found a running game, so that can definitely help their quarterback situation. And Nick Saban with a running game,
It'll be the old
he's
Bama.
been pretty. Yeah, we're going back 2008 to that early Bama dynasty, so it'd be interesting to see how that plays out the rest of the season. Especially,
I don't think they've got that game manager at quarterback. I don't think they have any threat of the ball. So that's a little bit different than I see with
this could be the weakest quarterback room they've had in a while.
Yeah, it's bad. If Lane can't beat Alabama without a quarterback, I don't think Lane will ever beat Alabama.
I think I got a couple games I want to touch on. South Carolina, Mississippi State was a pretty good one. Mississippi State finally just went back to what they should have been doing in the first place, just throwing the damn ball. But once again, shout out to Spencer Rattler, man. Dude, this I was like just hear some draft talk, man. It's gonna be a pretty deep quarterback class. With some few players of ball. We'll see how they do in the NFL based on where they go, obviously. But I think Spencer Rattler, man.
I don't know, man. Did you see the stats that LSU's quarterback put up against Mississippi State's defense?
Man, see,
I think it's literally just how bad Mississippi State's lack of secondary is. I mean, take it. South Carolina was going tit for tat with the receivers going for almost 250 yards each. But I mean, I think 6 incompletions between their last 2 games on defense.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I mean, I could see where you would be coming from, but if you've looked at Rattler's stat line,
Rattler's great.
4 games, it's way different than he was last year. This is like what we all thought we were getting when he was transferring from Oklahoma to South Carolina. Yeah. The potential that he had coming out of high school. The crazy stat for me is in his last 3 games, he's completed almost or either slightly over 90% of his passes, which is just bonkers.
That's like the bonkers part is like he's doing against a horrible offensive line. Like he is
just
taking blows.
Trash offensive line. He's not throwing the ball into shady situations. He's making good decisions. I think
I'll find out more this week.
Yeah, I think he's leveled up. I think he's leveled his game up.
I'll see what he does.
I agree with those.
Yeah. I'll keep it going. In addition to that, I guess I'll touch on Alabama Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss just got exposed. I think the signs of that was there in the Georgia Tech game. It's kind of like Georgia Tech's horrible. They're better than what they were last year, but they're still pretty bad. Stuff, especially on the defensive line. The defensive line shouldn't be getting pressure the way they were getting pressure on Ole Miss, and Alabama just, on another level. They just handle it, and I think, play action pass is what Bama's probably gonna have to live on the offensive side. Run, and see if you can launch the ball 60 yards. Dude has arm, but that's about all he got. Utah, UCLA. This game was fucking horrible.
That game was horrible.
That's one of the only games I turned off.
Yeah, Utah's defense. Shout out to them. I honestly don't know how they're 4-0. I'm not saying the offense has been horrible, but it's just like their defense has been locked down. I just don't know how far they can continue until Cam Bryson's back, especially when you're about to pay this part of the hardest conference by far this year with how low they are at the top. So that's going to be just something to keep. I was kind of disappointed in UCLA. That was pretty bad on their part.
UCLA doesn't have a true quarterback yet. I think they're
the freshman is a true freshman, but damn, I thought they having a little bit more figure out than what they fucking showed.
Right? Yeah, they've been doing a lot of the 2-back sets and featuring 3 backs. I don't think they're too worried about the quarterback, but it showed that they needed in that game.
Yeah, you can't get one dimensional.
What's going to go? Penn State. Let's keep tabs on that. I think that's fool's gold. Iowa defense kept them in check pretty much. They just got tired. And that's when Penn State started winning on the road. Because that offense, dude, stat of the week by far. Guess how many plays Iowa offense ran in that game compared to Penn State's?
36.
I was going to say 40.
Any guess, Jacoby?
I have no idea. I didn't even watch that game.
You didn't
33 plays.
Wow.
To Penn State's 97.
Dang.
Bro, if I was in their defense, I'd be cursing out the entire offense to the water.
Yeah, you're on the field the whole time.
Yeah, the entire time, dude. What else? Ohio State, Notre Dame. That was a good defensive effort by Notre Dame. Y'all know the ending of that game. Minus 10 guys on 2 back-to-back plays.
Yep. How do you do that?
How do you do that?
That's crazy.
And they almost stopped them.
Right. That was the crazy part.
That was crazy. Where like they almost stopped them, man. So like Notre Dame, like good performance by the defense, offense. Yes,
Got a
just
lot to
wait and
figure
see.
out on defense, offense.
Yeah, they got something to
That
figure out.
that prevent defense did Notre Dame in, but
Yeah, and they're gonna have to run the ball better, just have a chance, real, and just so you can get.
play
Have,
calling, man. How do you
yeah,
throw the ball at 2nd and 1 or 2nd and 2 after you've gashed them for 12, 11, and then 8 yards? You're like, you know what? There's a minute 40 left in the game. Let's throw the ball here. Let's not make them burn a timeout.
true.
It's play calling, man. Play calling.
All right, Matt, I'm gonna give you the floor in this game. Oregon, Colorado. Floor is yours.
I'm not here about clicks, man. I'm glad Nick's Fool's Gold was, finally able to play somebody in Colorado that had a pulse on defense because apparently nobody else does. And the bad thing is USC doesn't have a pulse on defense either, so they'll score. We'll get there. Dion actually shook his hand after the game. I was kind of disappointed in Lanning. We're not done yet. They only scored 7 more points. I wanted to see Oregon cover it by themselves, but I guess Lanning took his foot off the gas. So didn't entirely love it, but I didn't have to hear about Dion all week this week. So it's a good week.
No, we got Taylor Swift instead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks, Kelsey.
Out. Fucking Travis Kelce, dog. That was a financial decision on his part, man. Props to him.
right.
I mean, no money.
My brother even was like, "Where can I get a Kelsey jersey?" I was like, "Bro, stop."
Right.
Your brother's a Swiftie?
Yeah.
Of course, fucking Travis is.
I didn't even know there was a name for them. I thought they were just Taylor Swift fans. Apparently, they have a name.
Nah, bro, all these bases got the Beehive with Beyonce. They all did. I'm Taylor Gaine, though. Shout out to Wiz. But we'll keep it, bro. I guess we need to talk about sports in the sports podcast. I guess quick thoughts on Dion. I mean, everybody that knew football seen this coming. It was like, so it wasn't like a surprise. And Oregon easily could have put 70 on them, but they didn't call the dogs off. They had 35 in the first half. But we also knew that like their weak spots were going to be defensive line, offensive line. Also, you don't have Travis not Travis Porter, Travis Hunter.
Didn't have him either.
You don't have them just like what you expect. I think SC's defense is gonna be better. I'll highlight that game when we come
might
across
stop like 7 points. Let's be honest. 7 points. All he might have flipped that score. I'm tired of hearing that excuse. Oh, we're not going to have.
Oh, he would have won. They would have won. Nah,
they would have won.
He could have flipped it maybe 14.
Absolutely not. He's not
on offense too. He could have been a more threat.
Punt return, kick return.
What? For who? How's he going to get the ball to him? He was on his back the entire game.
He a dog, bro. He a dog. We a dog. Every dog has their day.
Yeah, that dog got put down.
Hey man, I gotta get euthanized a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna finally get to it. Florida State, Clemson. I'm gonna give the floor to the Clemson guys first. Thoughts on the game?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Because they felt like after that fumble that Cade just, I don't know how you don't see that coming when he's in your line of vision. And he just fumbled it away. I knew that was a huge momentum shift. I don't know. Dabo tried to get cute and have the storybook ending with the kicker at the end of the game, but his kicks were iffy at best on extra points in that first field goal. Defense looked really good other than, the end of the half where they just went prevent. I hate that every time. But, I think Cade grew up a little bit, so he didn't look terrible. Still a little bit questionable on some of his decisions. But I think it's a step in the right direction for Clemson if they could just get over the hump.
Yeah, I agree. Dabo definitely tried for that storybook, but clearly, I mean, he even said it was either going to work great or it was going to not. So, obviously it didn't turn out in our favor with that, but that still wasn't the main reason. I mean, I was not happy with the last 2 play calls with I mean, we had 6 inches to go. If you can't line up and get 6 inches on the ground, you don't deserve to win it, in my opinion. So, and we
Especially
got
after they're
2
gassed.
really powerful running backs, and Maffa was just gashing Florida State's defense, just gashing them. And then we don't even try to give him the ball. So that made me frustrated. But hats off Florida State. I mean, y'all stuck around long enough for us to screw it up. So you're welcome.
I'll give the floor to you, Ryan. Go ahead, speak your piece.
All right, I'm going to say what nobody wants to say. Dabo didn't take that game seriously, and he got himself out coached because of it. They played safe. They didn't take a whole lot of risks, and Norvell was just more willing to lose the game, and he made bigger choices. They threw more contested balls. They ran trick plays in more complicated situations. Like Norvell was just willing to do anything to win that game, and Dabo was playing it safe.
Yeah, I feel that. I think Clemson.
I don't think
I
they
mean,
trust
Clemson.
Cade.
Yeah, I think it's clear. That's clear to see. But I think it's also too is I mean, I don't know. I think these offensive coordinators are so trying to get a rhythm, especially with a new guy, man. I know the RP because I mean, pretty much Clemson's offensive line was pushed our defensive line back every run play. You always got at least 4 or 5 yards. So I understand the frustration of the play call. I also understand what Cade saw on both plays. The first one, he just fumbled, the ball slipped out of his hand. The second one would have been a touchdown because Florida State had a late guy running on the field, so the guy was uncovered. That's why he threw the RPO. Now I understand everybody's frustration is just like, regardless of the fact, you should have just ran the ball. But all week you practice that if you see this, no matter, I guess the situation should matter, but if you see it, like he throws that ball, completes that pass, it's a touchdown. That's the game.
And probably game
Cade.
over.
Yeah, it's game over.
Yeah, I don't
So,
blame Cade.
Yeah, so I don't really follow him. I mean, that's kind of on the coaches to reinforce the ideal in the huddle. Hey, no matter what, run the ball and stuff. But it's poor execution. Florida State, on the Florida State side of things, one more thing about Clemson. Defense, top 5 unit. That defense is nasty, man. That defense line was way better than I expected. I think it's crazy. The defensive line is better now, even though they were supposed to have better players last year. And I think they look way better this year. This person,
this defense is a lot better than last year.
Like better. So I tell people,
I think the secondary helps them a little bit too. I think the secondary's grown, so that helps them get just a little bit more time out there.
Yeah, I felt bad for that corner because on that last play, it was that corner that got burned was the guy that replaced the dude that got hurt. I think it was Wiggins.
Well, yeah, Wiggins got hurt, and he got. Well, I don't think he necessarily. I mean,
it wasn't like a bad.
That was a
good.
It
wasn't bad coverage. It wasn't bad coverage.
And got it. I mean, he went up and got it. Like
Keon County. Stuff, but that's kind of also Florida State's passing. Jordan Travis was also clearly hurt. That man would not run the ball to save his life. Like dude,
he laid on the ground. Every time he got hit, when he got hit, he was on the ground for like anybody come pick me up. You could tell he was hurt.
Yeah, he was hurt. Do we have questions about this running game, man? Hype this running game up. We could not run the ball.
No, we couldn't get it. Couldn't get it running, no matter what.
No matter what. So it's questions. And I think the part of the clear thing about Florida State, and this is where I always tell people why I was pissed off about Travis Hunter not coming here, is because on our defense, part outside of Jared Verse, we really don't have that other dog athlete in the secondary or our linebacking. Our linebacking core is very undersized. So you go against a team that's big like Clemson, like it's going to be a struggle to they're going to just wear you out after a while. And Clemson took advantage of that, and they just some other critical mistakes just cost them the game. On the Florida State side of things, that's something you're going to figure out. One more note on this team before we move on is I'm also waiting for Florida State to play a complete game against like a quality component, because like at some point this is going to catch up to you if you don't actually like try to beat the beast. I guess wait and see. It happened last year. It happened right after the bye week, so this bye week was kind of perfect timing. But they got the W at the end of the day, so
and that's what really matters.
That's what matters. stuff. But I think Clemson's be all right. Like I said, I have never defended Clemson the way I've defended them in this group. Mainly because people were saying like, oh, yeah, like they were even top 30 team. Like, dude, they're probably a top 10 team if the offense was just a little more competent. Like they lost 2 games, they didn't like get blown. I mean, the Duke game was.
What did somebody say? We were like 4 plays away from being top 5. Like, it's,
It's that margin error. So I think the Syracuse game is they're gonna wake back up. I know that's a tricky place for y'all.
I feel sorry for Syracuse, honestly.
I know Matt really has that side
I don't know. Syracuse always pulls something out of their butt.
Yeah, it's also 12
I mean,
o'clock.
they have been our. They have been our. Anyway, we'll get to that game, but.
That's it, guys. We'll keep moving forward. Let's get it rolling. I guess quick. Let's y'all see the top 25 down below. Nothing really too crazy. There's only one group of 5 team in the whole top 25 this week. That's Fresno State coming in at 25. Anything that stands out in that poll? I don't know if y'all looked at it or not.
No, there were no real big surprises for me, anyways.
No.
I did expect Miami to move up a little more, but that's about it.
That's it.
Shout out to Missouri.
Shout out to Missouri in 24. Shout out to the AC as a whole, having 6 undefeated teams, most of any conference left over. But don't really hear that on ESPN too much because it wasn't the SEC for obvious reasons. Stuff. Oh, yeah, I guess to talk about the SEC, I guess before we click on this game, y'all believe those fake posts they posted about Clemson going to the SEC?
I don't know if it's.
I'm not buying it.
I don't think it's going to be the SEC.
I'd more likely see them go into the Big 12, but I just am not buying that anybody's going to pay that Clemson buyout yet.
I'd say the Big 10.
Yeah, that's where I was thinking. Is the Big 10.
I'm saying Big 10. Big 10 makes the most sense because they're not in the South. So you can get Charlotte and Atlanta markets in addition to Florida.
Yeah, I think Florida State, Clemson. I think I've seen North Carolina going.
North Carolina, I would say would be the target.
I've seen Virginia's name also be mentioned just because they're an AAU university, so it kind of made sense for them academically.
You can also get the rest of that DC market. Well, I guess they got Maryland, but still, Virginia's a player or not. I guess we'll wait and see. I don't know. No, people have heard enough about conference realignment, so I don't want to dwell on too much.
Yeah,
I'm over it.
Or just not to think about it too much right now.
Yeah, let's enjoy the game.
It's done. I'm not going to speculate on none of that crap. I don't really. I mean, just play the games.
Right. All right. Well, let's go to our first game, guys. We have a couple games Thursday night, but this Friday night game, we have 2 Friday night games we want to highlight. First one, ACC matchup. We got the Louisville Cardinals 4-0 going to Raleigh to take on the Wolfpack. NC State. Louisville is a 3.5-point favorite in this game. The over-under is 55.5. Underdog money line is NC State plus 160. Matt, I'll let you take away your thoughts on this game.
Louisville's kind of worried me this last couple of weeks. I keep watching. The offense seems like it's there with Plummer at quarterback. NC State, it's struggled all year. They struggled with UConn. They just struggled to beat Virginia. They got blown out by Notre Dame. The only team they've really looked good against was VMI at 45-7. NC State also, with their leading rusher, is Brendan Armstrong, which is never a good look when your quarterback leads your team in rushing. So I'm going to take Louisville here to cover.
Let's go. Ryan, your thoughts?
I mean, I think Matt hit all the right points, man. Like, Louisville makes me nervous. I don't trust them yet. But based off their last, group of wins and the way NC State's played the last few weeks, it seems like it should be an obvious choice to pick Louisville. They seem to be on the up, where NC State's still totally confused on their identity and what they're doing.
All right. That's a Louisville 3.5?
Yeah.
Let's go. Jacoby.
I'm agreeing with them across the board. Louisville, they're playing consistently, I think, but NC State's defense has been kind of over the cut past year or two. Just saying they're still doing pretty well, but I just think like offensively, NC State can't hang in there. So yeah, Louisville hopefully have their breakout game that we've been looking for. I had them as one of the because we have them as a dark horse for the ACC, but we'll see. They still got to have that breakout game, I think.
Yeah, I'm down with y'all. Yes, last week we went all together in the first game and we lost, so hopefully we can bring some
redeem
flip that
ourselves.
around. Like I said, the team that probably had the most game from Clemson losing is Louisville. Being that now they got to make up 2 games in the conference. And like I said, the way you schedule, when you don't have to play Florida State or Clemson in your schedule, it's just in your favor. They still have to play North Carolina, Miami. But the rest of the conference, Wake, Virginia Tech, Pitt, even though Pitt did look a little better than I thought it would be. But I think the Cards, man, they got to figure out. We see how they go, though, because I think that Miami game could be tricky. But I'm looking forward to it when they actually have to play like a legit defense. They haven't played a legit defense yet. But hell, they're 4-0, about to be 5. Let's get it rolling. Next week, Pac-12. We'll be featuring the Pac-12 all rest of the season, pretty much. But they will always have rank on matchups. This is what you're scared of, though, the conference eating stuff up. Starting with Utah and Oregon State. Top 25 matchup Friday night. Oregon State is the 3.5-point favorite in this game. Over on there is 44.5. Money line underdog is Utah plus 140. Jacob, let you start off this one.
Obviously, last week's Utah, that was one of the most boring games I watched in a long time. But I mean, they just couldn't get it going offensively. Like, not that they've had a dominant offense without Rising in, but UCLA couldn't find much either. And then Washington took it to Oregon State. I mean, I didn't watch much of the game, but the highlights, I mean, obviously Washington did pretty good over them. But I think Utah continues their undefeated season right now. I'm going to take them to win outright with the possibility of Rising coming back, but I think Johnson's going to step it up because he came out and was apologizing for his performance. So I think he'll bring another level like he did against Florida that night. So
that's the Utes.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Taking money line or taking the cover?
Money line.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about. Ryan, your thoughts?
I think this is going to be I think this is going to be a matchup of which defense shows up best. You got Oregon State's defense, who's not too great, but they're not playing against Utah's star quarterback, and an offense who sputtered last week against UCLA. Or you got Utah's outstanding defense, who's playing against the high-powered offense. Like, which one's going to break first? And I think that's what's going to decide the matchup. And honestly, I don't really know which way it's going to fold. I think it's going to be a more low-scoring affair than we're used to out of Oregon State. So I'm going to take the under on this game. I think they score below 44.5.
Good. Matt?
Utah hasn't given up more than 13 points in a game. It's a pretty good number. Cam Rising, nobody knows what he's doing again. I feel like this is a week in, week out situation. Oregon State has a pretty solid defense. DJ, yeah, we're still seeing the DJ Clemson fans are used to. He plays the defense, so he starts to fall a little bit. So I'm going to be like Ryan, and I'm going to take the under 44.5 on this one. So they'll score 100. Don't worry, never fails.
Right.
It's ball out.
No defenses.
I have chosen against Utah, I think, in every game this season as far as like some form of bet against them. I lost all of them, so I'm going to
keep the trend going.
So I'm going to ride with Utah, the covered.
In that situation, let me go ahead. I'm just kidding.
Utah the cover just to see. I don't know. Their defense is the lead, but the offense is something left to zero. kind of agree with Ryan. Let's kind of see what's going to break. Because Oregon State, this is elite defense. They don't really make mistakes. So can Oregon State scheme them up to get over that 13.5? Matt, we're talking about how many points they average.
No,
This
that's their
remains to
high for
see.
the season. It's not even
That's
an average.
It's 13.
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
13's their high they've given up.
Oh, God. Who was that
Yeah,
to?
that's a great defense.
Was that the Florida?
That was in Florida.
Was it 4?
Yeah.
Let me see. Who is it? Oh, that's an idiot. Well, we're going to keep it moving, guys. We're going to move to SC in Colorado. Matt's favorite team. Number 8, Colorado falls out of the top 25. USC is a 21.5 point favorite. Over under this game was 73.5. The money line is Colorado plus 1050. Oh, Lord. Heavy. Ryan, I'm going to let you start with this one. Your thoughts on the Fox's game of the week.
I know everybody loves the Colorado hype right now, but I just see this being a repeat of last week. It's in Colorado's home, and that new invigorated fan base is going to show out. But you got the potential number 1 overall pick, possible Heisman returner, Caleb Williams. He's just going to tear that whole defense apart. There's too many holes on that defense, and I don't think Shadur Sanders and that offense have enough to keep up with them through the game. So I must say USC takes that spread, beats them by more than 21.5.
Matt.
Yeah, so a battle of nobody that has a defense this week. I'm really getting tired of Colorado being a game of the week every week. I think last week they were the Dr. Pepper game of the week, which blows my mind. Caleb Williams is averaging per pass 10.4 yards per pass. That's his least per game. So he's going to throw it. I mean, Colorado doesn't have a defense, so they're going to sling it too. Can Colorado keep up? No. Southern Cal's bad on defense, and they like to give up points. That over-under is very enticing at 73.5, but I don't trust either of their defenses that much, so I'm going to take Southern Cal to cover.
Sure. Jacob, how about you, Bob?
Yeah, I got Southern Cal to cover. I definitely just don't trust Colorado's defense at all after last week. I mean, I know they're playing in Oregon and it's a different environment overall, but still playing at home. USC, Caleb Williams, he's settled in this season. I feel like he's got a couple games under his belt. He'll put up numbers on that. I mean, Bo Nix just lit them up the whole first half. So I see Caleb Williams probably doing a lot more than what he did. So I think they'll cover this one easily.
How y'all just going to come in here and doubt primetime?
Go ahead, pick that money. Go ahead, take that money line.
Yeah,
the audacity of y'all to disrespect Coach Prime. They had a rough game. It was horrible. It was horrible. They could have scored 7.
It was bodacious.
And the Southern Cal Trojans are about to come from LA to Boulder, Colorado, this Rocky Mountain high, and do the exact same thing. Give me USC. Minus 21.5.
All right, Corset.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, I love Coach Prime. Love him to death. Look, man, you have accomplished way more than we even expect you to do at this point. But now you're playing the big boys, and the big boys are I think the biggest problem with Colorado. If you saw that, I think Oregon made an Instagram post, social media post with it, with Colorado players talking that shit.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
While they had another video of touchdowns going on the board. I think what's going to happen for the rest of the season is Colorado's going to get everybody's best shot for a team that's not built for everybody's best shot because of the hype. So everybody's going to take an opportunity to be like, hey, this needs to be my best performance. It's all eyes on me because just of everybody's watching Coach Prime.
Everybody's watching this game.
Yeah, everybody's watching the game. So I think Caleb Williams is going to put on a show. I'm expecting 500 yards. Like
So,
five,
question
five,
for
six
you
touchdowns.
before we go to the next game:
Okay.
Colorado make a bowl game. They have
I
Southern
think they still
Cal.
can. They got
Colorado has Arizona
They got
State,
some.
Stanford, UCLA, Oregon State, Arizona, Washington State, Utah.
Whew.
I mean, it's not the easiest stretch through, but some of those are definitely winnable. Enough
Stanford
so that I
easily
think they can
winnable.
make a bowl game.
UCLA
Stanford and Arizona State,
winnable.
I think, are two.
Those
Like,
are two wins right there. And Arizona, I think they'll beat Arizona for sure.
We'll see,
I,
man. We'll see.
I
It's
see with
gonna get.
Arizona
It's
part.
getting
I see with
close.
Arizona. I think they're gonna have a sneak. I think if there's a team they can sneak, it would be UCLA.
Yeah.
Out those out of that group. That's probably gonna be because they're at home in that game. But like, I don't. Yeah, they're not beating Oregon State. They're not beating uh,
Washington
Utah,
State.
Washington State. We still see on Washington State because
Yeah, we'll see on Washington State.
We
Nah,
see
dude,
on
I don't
Washington
know.
State.
Cam Ward
They did
is
look.
he's solid.
He's pretty
And then that
solid.
defense looks pretty good too.
I gotta see them more. Like
Okay.
I want to
I feel
believe
that.
they're good. I want to believe, and I chose them last week. I want to believe they're good, but I'm still like it's like I'm 50-50 on them, truthfully. And then we're gonna find out with the Pac-12 because like all those teams got to play each other, especially with the most of the schedule being so backloaded.
Mhm.
All right, well we're gonna keep moving. We're gonna take it to the SEC, Clemson's Future Conference, where the Gators, 22 ranked Florida Gators, travel to Lexington, Kentucky to take on the Wildcats. Over under is 44 in this game. Underdog money line, Florida plus 105. Ryan, your favorite team, the Gators. Let me hear about how you feel about this game. I'm just kidding on that one.
Well, I can't stand them Gators, but they played at least two more quality opponents than Kentucky has. I mean, you look at Kentucky's schedule so far; they played Ball State, Eastern Kentucky, Akron, and Vanderbilt. Like it's 4-0, yeah, but it seems like a fraudulent 4-0. Whereas Florida's gone in, played Utah already, and played Tennessee and Knoxville and knocked them off. So I hate that I have to do this, but I have to go with Florida. I think they're a more proven team right now. They're more ready for the competition of this game, and I don't think Kentucky's prepared. So I'm gonna take the money line off Florida.
Okay. Well, I might give you -1. I have a look at the money line. See where it's at.
It says 105 on the ticket.
105. Okay, I give you the money line. All right, I typed that. I'm an idiot. Never mind.
On your
I'm
ticket,
bugging
it says 105.
I'm bugging right now. I'm on the Holy City High, guys. We bugging. Jacob, your thoughts?
Yeah, I gotta agree a lot. I think with Brian, I got Kentucky haven't really played a quality team yet. I mean, their best team they did play was Vanderbilt, and that's not saying much. So, Florida, I mean, knocking off Tennessee and Knoxville is always good. I mean, Mertz has kind of found his footing. I think he's completed like some close to 80% of his passes, I believe. And they're getting in a groove. So give me Florida to money line on this.
Oh yeah. Matt.
This game's Florida's run game versus Kentucky's defense. Their defense is only allowing 2.6 yards per carry, so that's about what Florida State gets per carry. I feel like. Sorry, subtle shot there. Even though we lost,
You'll get yours back.
Even though we lost, that's fine. Yeah, Graham Mertz has almost put up better numbers than Devin Leary, which is surprising to me. Even though Mertz has played better competitions, he's 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. Leary, 9 touchdowns, 5 picks. Take away Kentucky's 2 pick sixes, and Vanderbilt's right in that game, which was scary. So I'm going to lean on the Florida run game with money line with the rest of them.
I am there with you guys. Everyone used to a lot of things. I just don't know what to feel about Kentucky. I know it's a road game too, which kind of leads me, but think this is a pick 'em. I thought about taking the over under on this game at 44, but I did so bad with the over under last week. I'm probably staying away from those. So I'll be unison with you. Let's go Gators. Plus, I think y'all to be strong when Florida State comes under and bust that booty. We'll get it rolling though. But we're gonna leave the SEC to go to the ACC, as we got those Clemson Tigers traveling to New York, Syracuse, New York, to take on the Orange. Over under is 53 in this game. Money line Syracuse plus 205. Matt, what are your thoughts on the Orange versus the Orange?
I hate playing at Syracuse. It's always a place of Clemson's nightmares. Thankfully, it's not a Thursday night or a Friday night game because that's when
It's
always
12 o'clock.
feels like it
It's a
is.
12 o'clock game.
That's fine. I'll take a 12 o'clock there. It doesn't matter. I'm used to Thursday night or Friday night games here, and it's always miserable for them. Cuse has looked good at 4-0. I really like Schrader at quarterback for Syracuse. Again, he's another guy that leads his team rushing, which I don't know why that's become so common for college teams. Cuse has only played Army, Purdue, Western Michigan, and Colgate. So 4-0 seems kind of more like a Kentucky, maybe a fraudulent 4-0. So I'm going to take Clemson to cover.
All right. Jacob.
Yeah. Syracuse has definitely been a thorn on our side for a while now. I believe it was Trevor had to come in and save the day against Syracuse as a freshman. Cade had to do it last year.
So Trevor got knocked out that year.
Or what?
We had to bring in what's the boy's name that transferred to App State?
Chandler.
Mm-mm.
That's what I meant. Yeah, Trevor got knocked out.
Yeah, Trevor got knocked out, and they had to bring.
It was right after, wasn't it? Right after Bryant left or something. But anyways, yeah, it's gonna. They always play us tough. We just have. But I think after last week, I mean, our defense played it.
There you go.
Bryce, yeah. Our defense played a hell of a game last week. I think they might be a little disappointed, but I think offensively against that Syracuse, we'll do fine. Cade's kind of getting in a rhythm, I feel like, and I think you just need a little bit more time than I anticipated from the start. But yeah, give me Clemson to cover this one after last. Dabo's got to keep it, or before the talks start surfacing even more than they are. So he's going to probably put his pedal down on this one.
Here we go, Ryan. Here we go. This is where it's coming. Let's hear it.
So statistically, these teams are super similar. Like they almost have identical stats across the board on offense and defense collectively. But like Matt said, Clemson's played much higher competition playing against, their new owners, Florida State.
Oh my God, they win one time in 8 years. I was almost in college last time they won. Let's put that in perspective.
And of course, they had some against Duke, which both of those games were on the road, and here's another road game. So is Clemson going to trip up on the road again against a Syracuse team they have trouble with? I don't see it being likely, but I'm not confident enough in Clemson yet to say no. So I'm going to take the over on this. I'm going to take over 53. I think both offenses show up some. Clemson's defense might step it up just enough to squeak the win by, but I think this will be a more interesting game than we expect.
My heart can't take another close game. I'm sorry.
I'm going to go with Clemson to cover 6.5. They do struggle. I know that's what's towards, but I just think that defense is too good this year to give up any points. And I think Clemson's offense this is gonna be the first time of their offense. I know Syracuse is supposed to have a good defense, but I can't really judge their defense against the competition they played. So I'm gonna ride with the Orangemen to upset Clemson. I'm just kidding. Clemson to cover. Clemson to cover, man. 6.5. I think the line should be closer to 10, to be honest with you. I think Clemson handles Syracuse pretty easily. Double digits. Giving faith, in them Tigers. And to the new Tiger King, Jordan Travis.
Tiger King.
Tiger King.
I hope he loses his lawsuit.
Well, he didn't use the Tiger King. He was
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I don't know what he used. That's mean, man. Shout out to Joe Exotic. We're gonna travel to the Big 12, guys. Big top 25 matchup. Jayhawks, Kansas travels to Boston, Texas to take on the Longhorns. Texas is a 16.5-point favorite. The over under this game is 61. The money line is to Kansas at plus 600. Ryan, what's your thoughts on this game?
Oh man, well, Kansas surprised me last week, beating BYU. They obviously have a way better offense than I thought they did. Who's at quarterback? Jalen Daniels, right?
Yeah.
Jalen Daniels. I like that kid. I like him a lot. Unfortunately, I don't think Kansas is prepared to go into Texas the way that Texas is playing this year. Last year, the way they were playing before Daniels got hurt, I would have taken Kansas in this game, but Texas is looking complete right now on both offense and defense, and I don't quite think the Jayhawks are ready for this kind of caliber opponent yet. So I'm going to take Texas on the to cover the spread, 16.5.
All right, Jacob.
Yeah, I agree. Texas is clicking on all cylinders. I think they are one of the most complete teams at this point in this season. Kansas did surprise me last week. I thought they were going to go have a flub up, but I do like the way they're playing. Going into Texas, I think they're going to give this game their all. It might be a little bit closer than I think that it's going to be. So I'm going to take Kansas to cover the 16.5. They still go. I mean, I'm thinking 2 touchdowns, but so.
All right, Matt.
Yes, I had a guest picker show up just now. Apparently, I need to learn how to lock a door. Jalen Daniels I like a lot, especially after that BYU game. Kansas defense kind of worries me. They gave up 357 last week to BYU. Kind of makes me wonder what Ewers in Texas is going to do. So I'm going to take the over 61 in this.
That's not a bad play. And yeah, I love Kansas offense, but I don't know if they're gonna match up that Texas defense. I don't see it, especially on the line. But I feel like they can scheme them pretty well, surprisingly. So I'm gonna be the opposite. I'm gonna go with Kansas to cover 16.5. I think it's probably a 10-point game. Let's hope so. All right, we'll keep moving forward. To our group of 5 game of the week. I was trying to clue one, and there was very limited options. Actually, a lot. There was actually some good options. But we're gonna go with Mountain West versus American. Boise State taking on Memphis. Memphis is a 3.5-point favorite in this game. Over under is 60. Boise State money line underdog is plus 150. Matt, I'll let you take lead on this one.
So Boise's bouncing back. Those 2 wins after that tussle off to UCF. Memphis lost to Mizzou last week by 7. Both of these teams have really good run games. But give me Hennigan at QB with Memphis to cover that 3.5.
Let's go. All right, Jacob.
Normally I ride with Boise on just about every time when I'm betting. I don't know why, but I just hadn't seen enough out of them this year to keep that streak going with me. I do like Memphis to cover this.
Ooh, let's go. How about you, Ryan?
You know what? I have to say, most years I probably would take Boise State, I always see Memphis as a flash in a pan, but Memphis's pass defense has been excellent so far against their opponents. And even though Boise State's primary game is their run game, the passing side, that's when they make the most mistakes and they make the biggest turnovers. So I expect I meant Boise State. That's when they make the most mistakes and make the most turnovers. And I expect Memphis to capitalize on this. So I'm going to take Memphis at home 3.5.
It's gonna be a UT vote. Same with you. Boise's not the Boise vote. The talent's just not getting there. Addition to that, 97% of the money on bets are going to Memphis, which is one of the highest percentages across the whole board. Stuff. Memphis is pretty good. I think they're probably top 3 in the American, definitely. So I'm gonna ride with Elvis and crew and 3-6 Mafia. Let's roll with the Tigers, man. Tigers everywhere. God, more teams with less Tigers. They should have a band in the amount of Tigers. Should have as a mascot. Like, be the leopards or something like Panthers. There's other like jungle cats you can do.
Until you see the next game.
Right. As Matt, he's prognition to tell you, we go back to the SEC West. Number 13 ranked LSU Tigers, -2.5. Favorites against the Ole Miss Rebels, who are still ranked somehow. Over under 67. Money line underdog Mississippi is +123. Jacoby, your thoughts?
Well, last week Ole Miss definitely disappointed me. I was really banking on an upset, but they just didn't. I mean, they just couldn't get anything going. I mean, but then Lane's never been able to get anything going against Saban, so that might be something that just he's always had some stigma over him, I guess, with that. But I like the way LSU's been playing. They played better, not as good as last week as I really thought they were after that Mississippi State game, which I think I didn't realize how bad Mississippi State's defense was until last week with Carolina. So that game kind of goes down more on my stats, but I still think LSU is the more dominant team in this, and they're going to take it and to cover this.
All right. How about you, Ryan?
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So I'm not picking Ole Miss back-to-back weeks. I was confident in them last week, but now I think they're fraudulent. Their big strength was supposed to be their run game or their run defense. And Alabama, who hasn't been able to run the ball all year, just trampled them at every opportunity. So I don't think they'll be able to stop Jaden Daniels' passing game. That's going to open the run game for LSU wide up, and they're just going to run all over Ole Miss. So I'm taking LSU.
All right. How about you, Matt?
Are you guys giving up on the Lane Miss offense? Or Lane Miss? Yeah, that's what it is. It's Lane.
The Lane Miss, yeah.
Yeah, Lane Miss. Are you guys giving up on the Lane and Ole Miss offense? Because you should. Because they are terrible. If you can't beat Nick Saban without a quarterback who doesn't know like how to throw the ball, and we have to run the ball every play, you're never going to beat them. I thought Ole Miss had it last week. I was pulling for Ole Miss to somehow figure out how to move the ball. But yeah, I don't think they're going to move it against this LSU team. So give me LSU.
I'm really surprised. Y'all are so high up on LSU. Y'all forget that
they're not that good. Got blown out by LSU.
No, they just lost to a team that's that much better this year. That's all it was.
It's not saying much about them then, because they barely beat a team that lost to Duke by 21.
Yeah, they were sick.
Well, I was referring to LSU and Arkansas over here. Well, LSU having a game-winning field goal. So this scares me a little bit because the opposite will tell you that based on how bad Ole Miss looked. how bad LSU Ole Miss look against Alabama. LSU's defense is not Alabama's defense. Um, so your boy is going to go with the over on this 67. I don't know. Like I just think I can see this as a game that Daniel Daniels can also screw up. He does have elite level receivers. Um, so I mean, Rebels defense won't be facing stuff, and we see LSU's defense. You know, if you can throw the ball on them, that's gonna be the key. We see if Jackson Dart can recover from Alabama. But I'm not choosing Mississippi to win this game. I think there are going to be some points put up. So give me the over 67. You see this game going 35-30, 33 or something. But we're going to keep it moving. The ACC game of the week. Speaking of those Devils, they show their faces again, undefeated in the conference. Welcome the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, coming off a loss 17-14 to Ohio State. Notre Dame is 5-point favorite in this. The over-under is 52.5. The money line for Duke is plus 180. Matt, let you take lead on this one.
Leonard Riley is a great quarterback. I'll give him that. But Notre Dame has, first-round cornerback in Morrison, who last week just pretty much shut down Marvin Harrison in that first half. I know he got hurt in the second, came back, but he wasn't, the reason why Notre Dame lost that game. Duke's run game, it's okay. Leonard does a lot of that. But I just think Notre Dame can run it right up through Duke, and Notre Dame covers and rights the ship after losing it to Ohio State last week after letting it slip away.
Nice. Jacob.
Yeah, Duke's had a good run so far. Obviously, their key wins, Clemson, but other 3 wins have not been such as higher caliber. Notre Dame's coming off a tough loss to Ohio State. I think Hartman gets it going again. And that run game of Notre Dame, I think that just Duke can't handle that, I don't believe. So give me Notre Dame on this.
Nice. Ryan.
What a terrible week for Duke to have to host Notre Dame right after they had a win stolen from them. Notre Dame's going to come out. They're going to be mad. They're going to want to win real bad. And the one thing Duke's done against its opponents is win the turnover competition. But Sam Hartman still hasn't had a turnover this whole season. So when your quarterback isn't turning over the ball, he's just making positive plays, you're hard to beat. So I'm going to take Notre Dame in this one.
Ooh, that's not bad. And no one's on the Dukies, man? Man. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to go with Duke. Let's go. Duke money line. I would know Dame. I don't like them dudes. this isn't a bet.
Join the conference already.
Yeah, join the conference. Like, it actually does kind of piss me off. I know we're not trying to talk about conference realignment, but they can make conference decisions. How the hell they are not in the conference? That's freaking stupid, ACC. But besides that, I'm just gonna roll with the Dukies, man. I know Notre Dame's coming off a big loss, and honestly, they probably will win this game. But Duke defense is pretty physical. Against Clemson, they did give up a shit ton of yards. Over I think 3-7. I think Clemson outgained them in that game. But Duke don't make mistakes. They do play sound football. The athlete, I mean, Notre Dame's offensive line, we see if that Duke defense line can get some pressure or scheming up. But Leonard, the quarterback, dude's a crazy athlete. His whole family's athletic. He's gonna have to need a similar game like he had against Clemson to be able to pull the upset. I'm gonna roll with the boys in Durham, man. Money line, Duke 180. Also, just be different. We're agreeing too much on some of these games. So change up a little bit. Change up. All right. We're gonna go back to the SEC on our next game. We got the number one team in the country somehow. Still number one. Georgia Bulldogs. 14-point favorites against the Auburn Tigers. Over under is 45.5. The money line. This is like the sixth Tiger on this damn schedule. Money line. I didn't even try to do that. Money line Auburn plus 500. Matt, let's start with this one. What do you think about this good old fashioned hate rivalry?
It's going to be a lot of boring game, I think. Georgia's not looked like a number one team in the country, but I mean, I guess who has looked like the number one team in the country right now? No, you can stop doing your fake chop. They've played halves. They've only played a first half or a second half. I'm interested to see if they put together a full game here. Auburn's improving. Compared to where they've been in the past, they're getting a lot better. They still don't have a quarterback, which is kind of hard to win a game if you don't have a good quarterback or even a reliable quarterback. I think UGA covers with the running backs, and then they'll just give the ball to Brock Bowers.
Yeah. Jacob, your thoughts?
Yeah. Auburn has been struggling, I believe, down on defense overall. They got injuries. Carson Beck this is his first road start, so that'll be interesting to see how he plays. But overall, I think Georgia's with their running game, they know how to take control of a game, especially in the second half. I think once Beck settles down, and the turning point in Georgia's season I saw was the second half of the South Carolina game, which put them back on, in my opinion, not losing the number one spot. But so give me them to go in. It'll be a slow first half, I believe, but the second half, Georgia will come out on top.
All right, and Ryan.
I mean, these are two teams that don't have any identity. Like Auburn doesn't even know what they want to do. They've been jumping back and forth between quarterbacks depending on the down situation. Rarely does that seem like a good idea. And Georgia, they're running the ball, but it's not with the same confidence they've run it before. You're not as sold on Beck as a passer yet, even though they have the talent. So I just think it's going to be a sloppy, ugly game, and I don't think we're going to cross that 45 threshold. So I'm taking the under on this one. I say Georgia wins 28-10.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Dogs to cover. Even the contrary, I think this is gonna be Georgia has to show their fan base some pulse on offense, against at least a conference team. Well, they might not have it. We see. I think at some point, that's gonna if you keep playing down to your competition, it's gonna catch up to you at some point. To stay at that number one spot to keep Michigan at bay, I think they're gonna have to show out a little bit. So I think they try to win this. I think they'll at least definitely win this by 2 scores. So give me the -14 with the Bulldogs going down to Auburn. Let's move over. Go with the number 2 team in the country, Wolverines of Michigan. Kind of the same boat with Georgia, but -16.5-point favorites. Take on Nebraska Cornhuskers. Over under this game is 38.5. Money line is Nebraska plus 650. Jacob, I'll let you take the lead on the Wolverines and the Cornhuskers. Who do you think are your thoughts on this game? With your best bet?
Sorry, hold on. Let me find my thing. I like what's it?
Nah, go ahead.
I like Michigan in this. Harbaugh's back. Nebraska they had some higher hopes to start out the season. Didn't work out so much, but I just don't see them being quite there yet to compete with Michigan. I'm still liking Michigan as one of the favorites as a contender. overall, especially coming up once they play Ohio State and all that down the road. So give me Michigan to cover this.
Matt, your thoughts?
Nebraska is just not a good team. I know Nick's favorite coach is up there leading the way, and they're just not good. They can't score, which means you're not going to keep up with Michigan. Michigan's got a ground game. They pass it enough. I think Michigan covers this pretty easily.
Ooh. And Ryan?
Michigan looks like one of the best teams around right now. They definitely have some of the most defensive depth. And Nebraska's enjoying a 2-game win streak, but it ends here. I'm taking the over, though, between Michigan and Nebraska. I think we see more than 39 points, and I think most of them are just going to come from Michigan.
That over does look tempting, being so low at 38. But, I mean, Michigan has been cruise control all freaking season because their schedule is pretty much a cakewalk till November. So I'm going to go with the Wolverines to cover 2. That even the Nebraska started a new quarterback. I think they benched Jeff Sims. Can't remember that dude's name though. But I don't think it's not gonna matter. They're gonna not have much of a pulse against the Wolverines, that defense. All right, we're gonna take it to the Big 12, man. One of my favorite teams of the college football season. Also, a little bit of a surprise team. And depends how this game goes. It can be a Cinderella, maybe. We got the West Virginia Mountaineers taking on the TCU Horned Frogs. TCU is a 12.5 favorite in this game. Over under is 52.5. Money line is West Virginia 3 plus 380. Ryan, let's take lead. What's your thoughts on this Big 12 matchup?
My thoughts are every time I don't pick West Virginia, they win, and it's driving me absolutely mad.
That's my Utah.
But because I'm so mad, I refuse to pick them again. So I'm taking TCU on this. I don't believe in West Virginia. They can barely score points. I don't know how they're winning, and I don't like it. So I'm just angry, and I'm taking TCU out of spite.
All right. See, sometimes you just you have hate in your heart, you let it out. Jacob, your thoughts?
Well, I'm feeling we're going on this trend of how we've been betting. So, I mean, West Virginia has pulled it out way more times than I thought they would, and I've taken them. So I feel like it's time to flip the script and take it the other way. But overall, I think TCU is the better team in this matchup. QB-wise, they're better off. Defensively, I can't really say a whole lot, but I just think overall that TCU at home, they got to get their season back on track, and West Virginia is a prime opponent for that. So give me TCU to cover this.
All right, Matt.
West Virginia's defense is keeping them in every game they play. TCU's defense keeps them out of any game from being over by halftime. So Chandler Moore is a really good quarterback. He looks good for TCU. But what these guys are failing to understand is you never bet against Neil Brown in the spread. Give me West Virginia to cover the spread. He's done it for like 3 years he's been there. I don't understand how. I don't understand why. But he does it, so give me West Virginia.
The money on this game, actually, this line has
gone up. Yeah, 12.5 last I saw.
It's at 13. FanDuel has it at 14.
Give me that point. I need that point.
I'll move up 13. I'll move up 13.
I'm just messing with you. It's all good. Neil Brown's covering whatever. It doesn't matter. Neil Brown.
That was quick though, because I typed this morning, so that's actually a massive move. But Mountain Mama, take me home to a place. West Virginia, though, I'm riding the Mountaineers all goddamn day.
We just lost every listener we had at that note right there.
Dude, you know this voice is beautiful. God's beautiful, and the Mountaineers are blessed in God's country. So I'm going with the Mountaineers. West Virginia, dog. I'm riding with y'all day. Y'all my surprise team. You're my Cinderella in the Big 12. I think there could potentially be this year's TCU. Not saying they're going to go to a national
Nah,
championship
that
and
seat's
lose.
just so hot for Neil Brown, man.
Yeah, Brown. That man's coaching for his life. He won't stay in those mountains, dog. He wants to be on what was that TV show? What was that TV show on MTV? West Virginia. You didn't watch
I
that? That show was
never
off the
was
chain.
one.
No idea.
It was like some redneck bumpkins just doing redneck bumpkin shit with the camera.
I'll take your word on it.
It's first up. It was dope though. I like it. But Mountaineers. Shout out to my brother. He lives in West Virginia. I don't know how, but I know he'll only invite you up in that state. Oh, Jacob blacked out. Oh shit. He
Now he's
upset.
upside down. Now
Oh,
he's
there he
right.
goes.
What are you
Damn,
doing?
man. What you out here doing? What you doing over here, bro? You out here in the Twilight
Gymnastics,
Zone
man.
and stuff. Oh,
The internet's
Dropped
going
down to 12 frames per second.
oh shit.
out.
Oh stuff. But we're gonna finally move on to our final game when Jacob's trying to figure out life. We have the Gamecocks, SEC East, big SEC East matchup. South Carolina Gamecocks taking on the Tennessee Volunteers in Knoxville. Tennessee is a minus 12-point favorite in this game. Over under is 64. Money line South Carolina plus 360. I felt like Tennessee was ranked. They are ranked 21. Um, Jacob, your thoughts on Gamecocks and the Volunteers?
His favorite team.
Oh,
What does it
hey,
say?
you mute?
Yeah, I
Hey,
think
Hey,
he's
can you
muted.
hear you, Bubba? Well, he's not mute.
It's at 12 frames per second. Really messing him up.
Yeah,
What
you
does
might
he
have a
do?
type of Bubba.
Jacob,
I'm
just
gonna
write it on a piece of paper and show us. It'll be faster.
Or just message it to us and we'll announce it for you.
make it work. But Matt, I'll let you go ahead and go with Jacob trying to figure out life. What is it?
No,
Might be
just kidding. I got him. This is bad on bad. This is South Carolina secondary versus, our Tennessee defense or Tennessee's offense. It's not great. And I don't know. I don't know who's going to win that battle. Milton or the secondary that gave up 250 last week to Mississippi State's one receiver. They're just both bad. Rattlers look great. Leggett and if Juice Wells was playing this game, are both huge threats for the long ball. I'm going to take the offense. So give me all the points. Give me Carolina money line.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to be a little different. I wanted that over so badly but just give me Carolina money line just to mix it up.
All right. 360. Let's go. Makes money. Ryan, your thoughts?
Hey, man, I'm loving how Spencer Rattlers played the last 2 weeks. They played a real close game against Georgia. I know their defense still doesn't have it all worked out, but Tennessee has a tendency to lose games they shouldn't. And I expect South Carolina to take advantage of that. And I see South Carolina covering at the very least, if not winning in Knoxville this week.
All right. And Jacob, you want
Is it working?
There
That's
we
where
go.
there you go.
All right. I got a phone call in the middle of it, so I guess that's what knocked it off. But
Had one job. One job.
yeah, I
David.
know.
No phone calls.
Yeah. Dang mom calling me. What the heck?
You're supposed to be watching. What she call you?
Right. Well, obviously, we all know last year South Carolina knocked them off very unexpectedly. Going to Knoxville, Neyland Stadium at night, it's going to be rocking. But Rattler's used to that. I don't think that really gives him any disadvantage. And he's been playing just phenomenal football. As much as I hate to admit it, too bad they don't have what they've had in the past, because they got a damn good quarterback. But yeah, I got South Carolina covering this, if not potentially winning. I'm just definitely going to go with the cover. I don't trust South Carolina can possibly hang in there as long.
You don't believe?
If Milton finally shows up like he did in the last season, but I'm not sold on him again. He can throw it a million miles, but can't hit the broadside of a barn. So give me South Carolina to cover this.
All right. Tennessee and Alabama have pretty much the same problem with their quarterbacks. Big ass arm, but might throw it to the opposite team or the opposite way or whatever. Give me the Gamecocks money line, man. KJ, just shout out to KJ. She's retweeting me on the gram, so I am going to. She's a massive Gamecock lover, so KJ, props to you, boo. All day, every day. I'm going with the Gamecocks to win outright. I'm on that map vibe plus 360. We here to make money. We ain't here just to our thoughts and our hearts. We here to make money, and my Gamecocks are gonna be like game. Cocks.
They're probably not
All
going to do
day,
that in
man.
Tennessee. Let's be honest.
Spurs
You
up,
notice
dog.
he said my Gamecocks.
Huh?
He doesn't ever know. He doesn't know. He's confused. He's like a Colorado fan. They don't know where they go next week.
Oh man, yeah, that's the game of the week. Don't be talking about prime
Yeah.
time like that.
It's always a
Prime
game of
time.
the week. Dr. Pepper, Fox, somebody's got to put it there. Watch it get blown out again.
They gotta make that money, man. They're getting views.
Yeah, they're here for clicks.
Here for clicks.
Hey, they
dog.
gotta pay. They gotta pay Dion somehow, man. They didn't have the money before. They gotta make it up now.
They get it now. All right. With that's our slate. Any other games you've seen or anything caught your eye?
I'm really disappointed you didn't put the weekly coastal pick on here. You had one job, it was to keep that trend going.
Close to going.
And you didn't do it. I understand why, because I think I would have gone with Georgia Southern on that one.
Because I was going to flip too on Coastal. They didn't burn me twice this year.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Jacob is a flip flopper. He gets burned one time.
One time,
he's
dude.
ready to leave.
Well, no, Coach, you got exposed, Coach. I don't know what that was. 2 losses.
Yeah.
No loyalty with Jacob. No loyalty with you.
Hey, I've been pretty loyal besides Coastal, all right?
Damn, man. Supposed to be all South Carolina proud, man.
The one game I want to bring up is the Penn State Northwestern game. Matt said earlier he doesn't think there's a clear number one team, but I think if you watch Penn State, and yes, I know it's Northwestern, but I think Penn State looks like the most complete team around right now. And I think they'll be more battle ready for the big games that are coming up ahead on their schedule against the Michigans and Ohio States and whatnot.
Do they play any of those at home?
At home,
Yeah, Ohio State or Michigan.
They play Ohio State on the road, and they play Michigan at home.
Yeah, they already used their wideout. Yeah. Can't have more than one wideout a season.
You can at Penn State.
No, you cannot. It should be frowned upon. They should burn it down if they do.
I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm just saying I seen it. They'll do it again.
Yeah.
Oh, they have 2 wideout games this year?
Yeah, you can't do that. Only one.
You can do that. Yeah, it's supposed to be one time.
You only have 6 home games. Pick one. If not, every game's a whiteout game.
I'm trying to say. I did see another game I kind of liked the odds on. What was it? Ooh. No, that wasn't. Damn, I just saw it. Maybe not.
Roll a JMU still.
Oh, yeah, man. JVU's a wagon. Like, jump on that wagon, dude. Them boys are good. Like, I don't see really no one beat them.
-3 against South Alabama.
That's going to be a toss-up. South Alabama beat the shit out of Oklahoma State.
At Oklahoma State.
Yeah, at Oklahoma State. In Stillwater, yeah.
Yeah, disrespected them. Like, I'm going to take your money and bust your ass.
Right.
Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Big Ten matchup, 3:30. Indiana taking on Maryland. I would definitely take Indiana to cover that game.
Yeah, Indiana's defense has been pretty solid this year.
They're pretty solid, man. I
think another easy pickup is the Oregon-Stanford match. Oregon's only slated to cover 27. I ain't seen Stanford did nothing to tell me they can stop Oregon in any way. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Oregon beats them by 40.
One last one I'll throw out there because I agree with Ryan on that one. Stanford's looked terrible. Missouri Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt
Oh,
13.5 point dogs to Missouri. Yeah, give me Missouri to at least cover that 14, even though it's at Vandy. There's no home field advantage at Vandy. I mean, they get like 2,000 people there. Their stadium's under construction. You know, Missouri's figuring out how to kick 61-yard freaking field goals to win games against ranked teams. Vanderbilt shouldn't slow them up.
Missouri, the redheaded stepchild of the SEC, getting some love finally.
About to be
Right.
5-0.
Oh,
Who'd
I
have
got
thunk?
another. Right, 5-0. Right. I got really. this is a region one, a little bit, but I'm gonna take Michigan State to cover against Iowa at plus
I
12
was
and a
just
half.
looking at that one.
Really?
Dude, I
You're
think
going to take Michigan State to cover?
to cover.
Take the under.
Take,
Iowa can't
take
I
score.
agree.
too.
Take the under on that.
Iowa can't score.
What's the under of that game? Just look.
I have no idea. You're the one
36 and a
who's
I'm
half.
looking. 36 and a half. Oh my God.
Oh, 36.5. Michigan
36
can't
and
score
a half.
37 by themselves, and Iowa can't score. Shit.
This is the prediction on this. We're thinking, is that going to hit? A lot of people say it's going to hit over. I don't know. Yeah, you think? I don't know. You think Iowa's going to score 2 touchdowns this good?
No.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's let's see.
Yeah. I think Iowa had just a whiff game last week. Again, I think Penn State's the best, could be the best team in the college football right now.
I'll push back on that one because I think Penn State's offensive line is questionable.
Maybe questionable, but not outright
Questionable.
terrible.
Not terrible, but questionable against the leads. I don't know. I was averaging 20 more points a game. That's with like putting up a fat 0 against Penn State.
Yeah, but 41 of those were from Western Michigan, who've been
Western
blown out
Michigan,
by
yeah.
everybody.
And the defense is good. I'm looking. I don't know. Like I know Michigan State's. The only thing I guess I would question. I mean, this is probably like I probably put a little bit of money on this. This would be like a massive bet, but the only thing that would worry me is like when a coach gets fired, they have a 30-day window where they can transfer out, and if they only play 4 games, so they can still be able to keep a red shirt if they have one available. So if players or starters like they call out the game or just don't participate, that would be the worry on that game.
I think it's getting too late, man. We're already at Thursday night. We haven't seen a mass exodus yet. It's 7:30 at night on Thursday. And Friday's your walkthrough. Saturday's game day. I think it's too late, especially the starters.
Hey man, they might catch COVID, come off the plane, start coughing.
Florida State knows all about that.
Hey man, y'all should have a.
Don't look at me like that, Ryan. Don't squint your eyes.
Safe distancing over there, man.
How could you tell?
Guys, that's the line for tonight. Once again, as always, appreciate you guys coming on. We actually got this on around half, so that's good timing. I was really surprised that Jacob and Matt was going to show up, but I'm glad that you guys took that loss on the chin with class.
What did Dion say? Still here? I'm still here.
You still here?
Yeah,
get me down. I'm down.
I mean, I'll probably get blown out this week again like last week, but I'm still here just to make me just like Dion.
Well, guess what, guys? Whole City High is still here, and we outside. We outside, baby. This is the Whole City High podcast. Gentlemen, I appreciate you. Next week.
All right, fellas.
Let's make some money.
Next week.
Good luck.
Gang.